I'm Meg from I Teach Stamping. Welcome to the Friday Flip. So the Friday Flip is where we take one project idea and we flip it into something completely different, keeping the parts of the card that we love and changing what we need to in order to make it either work with the supplies we have or the occasion in which we need. So let's go ahead and start by taking a look at our inspiration project. It's going to be this card right here. Now what I love about this card is that we have the pattern paper at the bottom to help break up the space. We have a big old sentiment and then some little accents. But this card doesn't take a long time to make. So let's go over the supplies that we're going to be using. I've got two different stamp sets that I'll be using. First one's going to be the Sassy Salutations, and then the other one is a new release from Stampin' Up. This is the hashtag I'm bringing birthdays back stamp. It's a limited edition stamp. We don't know how long Stampin' Up is going to be offering it. If you want one, the link will be in the description of this video. So this is an entire movement that was started by an employee of Stampin' Up, all about getting our birthday sentiments to others off of Facebook and into somebody's hands. For our card makers, this is perfect. So we're going to be playing with this one as well. All right, so we're going to use one ink pad color, Real Red, and then let's go over our paper. We're going to be using from the Brights Designer Series paper pack a strip that's going to be 1.5 by 5 1/4. And then we've got two pieces of Whisper White. The first one is going to be 1.5 by 5 1/4, same as this one. And then this one here is going to be our card base at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to add in a piece of Smoky Slate that's going to be 1 3/4 by 5 1/4, and then another piece of Pacific, or just a piece of Pacific Point that's going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4. We're going to use scraps from 3 different colors: Daffodil Delight, Real Red, and Pacific Point. All right, there's only 2 accessories we're going to be pulling in, and that's going to be the medium star punch and the itty bitty accents. So this one comes in a trio, but we're just using the star. Okay, so we've gone over all that. Let's go ahead and dive in with our stamping. So I'm going to move some of these out of the way just so they're not as distracting. We're going to bring in this guy right here, and we're going to use our Real Red ink, and this is where we're going to be using our happy birthday sentiment from that Sassy Salutations. I'm not going to worry too much about lining this up because this, as I stamp it, you'll kind of see this stamp is not a perfectly straight up and down or a perfectly straight one, so it doesn't have to stamp exactly perfect, so I love that. All right, now we're going to open up our card base, and we're going to be stamping this new one. I love this idea. I absolutely love it. And over in Stamping Family, we are doing something similar, just with something other than I'm bringing birthdays back. So if you're not a member of Stamping Family, be sure to go and check it out. I'll throw the link up on the screen. All right, so we have this cutie patootie on the back there, and now we're ready to build out more of our card. So I'm going to flip this around and let that dry, and I'm going to go ahead and add in this piece of Pacific Point. Across the bottom, I'm going to add our pattern paper, and it's going to go flush to the bottom and right and left hand sides of that Pacific Point. Then we're going to go ahead and add in our strip of Smoky Slate. It's going to cover up just a little bit of our pattern paper. Then we're going to bring in our happy birthday. And now we're ready to bring in those punches. So both these punches, I'm going to grab a big and a little from each color. And then let's do this daffodil. This is also a great card to mass produce. Like, you could have a whole stash of these laying around. I think this is a great one for kids, great for boys, and and who has enough birthday cards laying around for kids, right? It seems like we are going through those like crazy. All right, so now we're ready to use our adhesive. I'm just going to go in and use some liquid adhesive because it's going to be fast. Or start with my big stars. And perfect placement on this one, doesn't really matter. I just don't want it going off the edge of my card because I want to be able to mail these. And this one, I just need some adhesive at the top. There we go. I'm gonna add a little drop right here and throw in a blue star. And then over here on this side, add a red star. And then up here, we will add a yellow one. Now I've got my little honey jar here. Anytime you're using liquid glue, it's important to store it upside down because then you don't get all the little globules at the top, globules at the top, you know, when you're trying to squeeze it out and you have to squeeze really hard and then a whole blob comes out. So I just have a little honey jar that it sits in, and there you go. All right, so just like that, our card is done. Look at this awesome card. So let's go ahead and bring back in our inspiration card. We kept the white card base. We added the pattern paper at the bottom. We kept the elements and we kept the big, huge sentiment. We have the plain paper at the top, and now we have a completely different card. And look at the back of this. How fun is this? So remember, if you want your very own, I'm going to post the link in the description of the video. So there we have it, another Friday flip. Now, if you like the Friday flip, please be sure to like it below and also be sure to share it with your friends. Then head on over to iteachstamping.com. Make sure that you are signed up for my exclusive email list where I send tips, tutorials, and other things like that that I only share there. Again, I'm Meg from I Teach Stamping. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.